Hi, today I want to talk about crowns for baby teeth and why we do them, when they're indicated, and the different kind of crowns that we offer. So typically we recommend crowns on baby teeth when the cavity is greater than 1/3 the size of the tooth. So when it gets to that point, fillings don't tend to have a good prognosis. The tooth doesn't have a lot of good strength to hold that filling in. And that can happen quickly in baby teeth because baby teeth are so small. So often we'll start to talk about crowns much earlier than we would on permanent teeth, because permanent teeth are taller, bigger, the enamel's thicker, and they tend to have a better prognosis for a little bit larger fillings. So we do these crowns. They're called an extracoronal restoration to give the tooth some strength. So we want to restore that form and function, and we want it to be successful. And so when the cavity is a little bit bigger, then we need something that's going to come outside the tooth to give it strength. In our practice, we have different kinds of crowns for back teeth. We have these silver crowns and these white crowns. And it's important to consider as I start to go down this path that these back baby molars we have until we're about 10 to 12. So sometimes longevity is important to consider. These silver crowns have been around since Moses was a child. They tend to be very predictable, reliable restoration. They're the thing most likely to stay on the tooth until it falls out on its own. Since they've been around for so long, we have a lot of research to support these. So that tends to be another reason that dentists really like them. They're really super thin, and they're malleable, and we can adapt the edges or the margins to wrap around the tooth to help give it some retention. So these tend to be really good, especially if your child is like a grinder, clencher. While they can wear holes in the tops of these, which is a whole other issue, the crown itself tends to stay on better than these zirconia ones. So these zirconia crowns are great too. They're great because they're white and very aesthetic, and that's important. Aesthetic concerns are valid concerns. So if you're worried that you're going to see the crown in your child's mouth and that's really going to bother you or bother him or her, then these are a good consideration. Also, if children have any metal sensitivities, or you have any kind of concerns about the biocompatibility of the crown. I have seen that. I will say I haven't seen it that often, but I believe that it's real. So if you have any issues with that, then a zirconia crown can be a really good option, because the zirconia is just a really good biocompatible material. Zirconia is really rigid though. So when we prepare teeth for these white crowns, we have a couple considerations. The crown prep has to be, or the way the tooth looks, has to be very specific to the crown, and we also can't have any moisture contamination from the gum tissue, that's like saliva or any bleeding, because we need the bond of this cement that's going to cement this crown on there to help give it strength and retain it. We're not going to get the kind of retention we are from the crown itself because we can't bend that zirconia. So that's a really important consideration. Also, if your child is going to have a hard time giving up sticky candy, then this might not be a good restoration for you, because sticky candy will just pull it right off. And same thing if your child has like clenching, grinding habits. One, we want to get to the reason why they're clenching, grinding, and hopefully resolve that issue in and of itself. But that can also be a consideration with a prognosis of this restoration, because those forces can dislodge it. So, and front teeth in our practice, we only do white crowns because our philosophy is that there comes a point where the aesthetic concerns or aesthetic value can outweigh any potential shortfalls to retention. So we just really encourage our families to be really careful, and we just do white on the front teeth. But if your dentist recommends a different kind of restoration on the front, that's not necessarily incorrect or wrong. It just might be that there's certain considerations with your child that help make that restoration be the best fit. So in any event, I hope that was helpful. Thanks so much for listening. Take care. Bye-bye.